All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, September 23rd. We got a semi-full MLB slate to jump into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every game. We're going to talk about the games. I'm going to give you my lean or leans on the games, but all of my final plays, if you do want to fade me, those plays will be in the pinned comment. Last night, we could say it was fadeable. A 1 and 2 night. I thought that these were, who wouldn't place a bet thinking they're locks? But I thought that these were locks. Orioles money line, they lose. What? Astros -1.5, a revenge game against the Royals. They get their doors kicked in. They lose by 2. Never mind winning by 2. And then we had the Mariners and the Rangers alternative over 8.5. That does cash with ease. We'll take a little cha-ching there. But, man, a 1 and 2 night, and in a night in which I looked at these final plays and I said, let's go. That's sports betting for you. But guys, we did end up hitting our ride of the day. So shout out to Absol here. Let's pump in some damn crowd noise. Ronald Acuna Jr. over 2 bases. The guy had 6 bases. He had his 40th home run of the night. That's a ride of the day that I am talking about, guys. Shout out to Absol. If you guys do want to become the ride of the day, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments. You got to use the hashtag, and I'm jumping on board with one person's pick. I'm putting my money where your mouth is, and you guys got to shout out in the next video, win or loss. So make sure to use that hashtag ride of the day. Before we do jump into today's video, I did want to shout out Sleeper. If you guys are not on Sleeper yet, you are missing out on legitimately so much fun. And you can get 100% of your first deposit matched if you sign up using the link in the pinned comment or just using promo code GUYBOSTON. Guys, it's my favorite pick'em app out there right now. Each and every play has its own dynamic payout multiplier. They do not follow the fixed payout structure like all the prize picks and underdogs of the world. Go check out Sleeper. They're dropping tons of discounted props and free squares during the football season as well, guys. If it's legal in your state, I highly recommend it. I'm putting Sleeper slips out all the time on Twitter at EvGuyBoston and on TikTok EvPicks 3.0. So go check out Sleeper, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 on today's slate. I know we have Arizona taking on New York as the top spot, but that was postponed. So technically game number 1 here is going to be Minnesota taking, did I say Minnesota? Like a true Minnesotan? Minnesota taking on the Angels here. Minnesota, huge favorites in this one. -225, the odds are all the way up to now. Total sitting at 7.5. I think the only thing that I can look at in this game and say I lean fairly confidently is going to be Minnesota on the run line, -1.5. You're getting plus money for that, which does catch my eye. They've covered that in 4 of their last 5 and in 3 straight games as favorites. They definitely have the better pitcher on the mound today as Sonny Gray takes the mound. He had 0 earned runs through 7 innings pitched last time out. Yes, it was against the White Sox, not the best of teams, we can admit that, but nonetheless, still a good pitcher. And then in terms of the offense, the huge discrepancy here as well. Minnesota versus lefties. They're going up against Kenny Rosenberg here. They're batting .273 over their last 10 against lefties. It jumps to .355 over their last 5 against lefties here, whereas the Angels in their last 10 batting .202 against righties and then batting .210 against righties here. So I will take this is Minnesota all the way around, and I'll take the plus money for -1.5. I did feel confident about the Astros yesterday, and they lose by 2. So bad teams can beat good teams. We know that, but it's getting late in the year. I think these good teams start to clean up a little bit. In terms of the total, I do think Minnesota is going to score a decent amount of runs. Don't necessarily know what the Angels are going to come to play with. So just because that's a low number, I'll lean towards the over, but definitely love the run line here a lot more than I do the total in this game. All right, Cubs taking on Colorado. Cubs kind of bounced back from, or I guess bounced out of the trenches yesterday with a win. They had only won 2 of their previous 9 games prior to this game. They win 6-0 yesterday. On the mound for them today is Marcus Stroman. Hasn't pitched since July, and this is a pretty good spot for him, I would say. Colorado pitching Chris Flexen, who obviously is not that great of a pitcher. In terms of the offensive discrepancy, it's kind of weird. Colorado actually has decent numbers, and the Cubs kind of pace right with that. So I'm actually going to look at the over 8.5 in this game. We've seen Stroman struggle plenty of times this season. Not that I think Colorado is a great offense, but I do think that, they scored 0 runs yesterday. Maybe there's some left in the tank. I think the Cubs win this game, but I really can't lay the 1.5 with them. I don't trust that, especially after they do it last night. They haven't covered 2 run lines in a row in God knows how long. And I really don't love the idea of paying -240, right, on the money line. So I'll lean towards the over as it's the only thing that kind of catches my eye in this game. Not necessarily sure if it becomes a final play because I don't know if I have the cojones to bet on the Colorado Rockies to show up, but we shall see. Keep an eye on the pinned comment. And while you're looking at the pinned comment, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. We are so close, well, not that close, but close enough for it to be so close to 30,000 subscribers. Give yourself some credit. Come on now. 30,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and hit the like button, guys. It does so much for the channel, and it takes 2 seconds of your time. So if you don't mind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Obviously, comment down below, all the good stuff, guys. You guys have been crazy supportive. Make sure to check out the football videos that we have on the channel. Make sure to go check all that stuff out, guys. You guys have been absolutely electric for the start of the football season. All right, the Phillies taking on the Mets, and I really wish that these odds weren't what they were. Minus 185 is now what we're looking at for the Phillies. If they were minus 175 like the graphic says when we first screenshotted it, I'd be all over the Phillies. You guys know that I think Zach Wheeler is a very underrated pitcher, a very good pitcher, in fact. And he's pitching up against Jose Quintana today, who I don't totally trust, but I will say that these odds kind of make it tough to look at this and say, okay, I don't think I'm going to roll with that. But I do like the over 7.5. We've seen 2 5-4 games, which are just kind of like middling games here. So I do like the over 7.5. You can get that for plus 105 on Caesars. I'd be lying if I didn't say that kind of is tickling my fancy a little bit. An over at a low line for this game here. So I'll take the over 7.5 in terms of my lean. If I had a gun to my head, I would still lean towards Philadelphia, but that ROI with the minus 184, minus 185-ish just seems like a little bit too much price to be paying in a game, which technically both these games so far have been one-run games, right? Like bounce of the ball the other way, and you're looking at a Mets win. So yeah, I do like Phillies. I do like Zach Wheeler. I do think that they have, I would say, I guess, the better offense as well as the better pitcher here. But just like yesterday when I kind of said I don't think I love the Phillies today. I mean, I do like Zach Wheeler. The Phillies are still going up against a lefty, in which that is one struggle that we can admit. So, everything that I'm saying, whether I think this is a low number for the total, and I do think that, the offense can go off. As educating yourselves as sports bettors, just know that there is a little caveat in there that it's not just like a Phillies day all the way around. They are facing a lefty, and that is a struggle of theirs. Not a big enough struggle, in my opinion, to kind of talk myself off of it. That's more or less the odds that we're looking at, minus 184. That's what's talking me out of it. But I want to give you guys at least all that I know. I don't want to paint some sort of picture if I'm not giving you all the details. All right, guys, before we get to the rest of the games, I do want to shout out the Fade Me brand. I'm rocking the Fade Me Athletics tee right now. We've got a bunch of new hoodies on the store, or if you're still hanging on to summer or going on vacation, check out the Fadecation collection. We got a bunch of cool products out there right now, and this is the #1 way you guys can support the channel. I love seeing those orders come through. We even have the Don't Be a Guppy hoodie and tee as well. Make sure to go check out the store, guys. I'm sure you'll find something you like. FadeMe.store. I'll put a link in the pinned comment as well, but if you consider yourselves one that rides and has been here since day one and watches every single day, consider picking up some merch. I tell you guys in plenty of videos that I get emails and DMs of what's your Cash App, what's your Venmo, and sure, if you guys want to send money, who's going to say no to money, right? But I'd rather you guys actually get something tangible in return. So if you're going to donate or do anything like that, I would rather you just pick up some merch so that you actually get a great t-shirt, great quality, great hoodie, that type of thing, versus just you guys getting content. I don't know, maybe I don't value the content as a tangible thing, but you know what I mean, guys. Consider picking up some merch today. Use code FADE for 10% off. FADE. We're still running that site-wide discount if you use code FADE at checkout. Yeah, go ahead, pick up some Fade Me merch. Fade Me merch. Yeah, Fade Me merch. Now I can't even talk. Let's get back to the slate before we have to kill this video. All right, we have Oakland taking on Detroit here. We don't have any lines or odds for this game just yet because Detroit has not announced their starter. Joe Boyle is starting for Oakland, who has only pitched once this year, it looks. 3 innings pitched back in mid-September, or was that mid-September? Was last week. In terms of yesterday's game, Oakland actually wins 8-2, which is kind of surprising. I don't think that this is a series in which it's going to matter all that much. You have 2 fairly bottom-of-the-barrel teams. If we did have a total right around that 8 mark again, I guess I lean towards the over, just because I don't believe that Detroit's going to go out there and throw a stud or anything like that. But keep an eye on the pinned comment. This isn't the sexiest of series to begin with, so we'll see who ends up pitching for Detroit. We'll keep an eye on the pinned comment, see if we roll with anything in this game. But I'll be honest, probably not going to roll with much in this game, right? All right, Miami taking on Milwaukee here. Milwaukee has dominated this series, at least the this year, I should say. This year, they've won 4 of the 5 against this Miami team. And then this series in particular, they won 16-1 yesterday. I do think that Miami is kind of due for a bounce back here. Like they're due to beat Milwaukee, but I don't know if it necessarily comes today. I do still like Milwaukee. They're pitching Brendan Woodruff here, who's got a 0.8 ERA over his last 5. And you're probably like, wow, that's crazy, right? In his last 3, he has a 0.41 ERA and a 0.64 whip. So the dude's been going off even like regardless of his last 5. His last 3 gets even better. And he pitched just 2 weeks ago or so against this Miami team. 9 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 0 earned runs. So he has what it takes to beat and shut down this Miami team. Jesus Luzardo's on the mound against Milwaukee. He's been pitching really well as well. He has 1 start that you'd like to throw out in his last 5, and it happens to be against this Milwaukee team. He pitched 5 innings, let up 10 hits, 1 home run, 4 walks, and 6 earned runs, right? So he's kind of coming into this with I got to be better than last time, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So I'm going to lean towards Milwaukee in this spot. Again, I think Miami's due for a win against this Milwaukee team or in this series to some degree, but I don't think it happens today. I think that this is a good spot for Milwaukee. They're playing decent baseball. Milwaukee has won 4 games in a row. They've won 8 or 7 of their last 10, whereas Miami's, kind of up and down right now, losing 3 of their last 4. So I guess, I'm giving myself the caveat that it wouldn't surprise me if Milwaukee, if Miami somehow wins today, but that's just because they're due. All the data and everything like that and all the numbers being crunched here points to Milwaukee. So I'll take Milwaukee here on the money line. Total sitting at 7 runs. Man, I think that, Luzardo's going to pitch a better game than he did last time. I think Woodruff's going to continue to pitch well, but that total is so low. But maybe we do go a little crazy. Maybe we go a little crazy here and lean towards the under 7. Maybe we buy a point up to 7.5, buy a run, a half run. We shall see. Keep an eye on the pinned comment. I think it's going to be an interesting game, a good game. I am leaning Milwaukee. It just pains me to say that if you're on the Miami side of things, I don't necessarily hate that side either. I think Luzardo's going to pitch better than last time. This could be a closer game than last time. So give me Milwaukee, though. All the data points to them, and we got to trust the numbers at the end of the day, rather than a team is just due, right? All right, Tampa Bay taking on Toronto. Toronto gets a 6-2 win yesterday. Tampa Bay still favored here at home. Minus 125 over on Caesars right now are the best odds. You're looking at a total of 8.5. I think this one goes over. Yesterday's game was 6-2, and Tampa Bay didn't really show up. Toronto, I hope that offense kind of continues to the pace that we saw yesterday. They have struggles against righties as of late, 207 in their last 10 against righties. It gets a little bit better in the last 5 at 225, but I'll trust this Tampa Bay offense going up against a lefty. That's going to be Ryu today for Toronto, and then Lytell's in the mound for Tampa Bay. I think it's a bounce back spot. I like both the over and Tampa Bay on the money line fairly evenly. Like one of those or both could be a final play for sure. So keep an eye on the pinned comment for those. All right, Red Sox taking on the White Sox. 3-2 win yesterday for the Red Sox. Nick Pivetta on the mound for them today, who he's been steady, not great, but steady since returning to the starting lineup. He was way better out of the bullpen, but now he's kind of, giving you like a 4 flat ERA and a 1.1 whip, which isn't even that much better than what we've seen Dylan Cease do, which is crazy because the better name, in my opinion, and more talented pitcher is Dylan Cease. Kind of on that note, I am going to lean towards the White Sox. I'm a Red Sox fan. Kind of giving up on the Red Sox season from a fan's perspective, right? And it's okay to bet against them. I mean, the Celtics, I could never, that's like, if you guys don't know, like that's my bread and butter, my favorite team. Like I just get biased. And you guys, if you've watched the NBA videos, I'm sure plenty of you didn't even know that we do NBA videos, but we do. I get ragged on in the comments for not wanting to bet against them, okay? Red Sox, I can do it. We did it with the Texas Rangers a couple nights ago when we bet on the Rangers. But yeah, in terms of today, I think I'm going to be doing it again today. I like the value for Dylan Cease on the mound, plus 130 there. Cease, has had a lackluster season. You can't even say, oh, well, he's been pitching well, but doesn't get run support. No, the dude has not pitched well. This is a guy that has all the talent in the world, or a lot of talent, okay? And he's got a 4.85 ERA on the season with a 1.45 whip. I don't care if you have a good team or not. That's you pitching, right? But today I do think that, he has a chance to play well against the Red Sox. So give me them on the money line here. And also the factor into this game is I cannot take the Red Sox minus 154. I'm not willing to pay that price. So I guess give me the White Sox here plus 130. Don't love it, but I like it. In terms of the total, 8.5, I'm gonna lean towards the under here. If I think that Dylan Cease is gonna finally kind of stumble into a good game, and I just gave Pivetta a little bit of credit, right, kind of steady, I do think that both these pitchers can go out there, maybe through 6 innings, allow 3 runs or so, and then hopefully the bullpens can come in and pitch fairly well, and we have a game that finishes at like 5-3 or 8 runs total, and we walk away with a close under. So I like the White Sox more than that just because of the plus money, but yeah, I'll take the under as well. All right, Cleveland taking on Baltimore. Cleveland gets the win yesterday, 9-8. They also won game number 1. Like, this Baltimore team, as good as they are, they're kind of crumbling at the wrong time here. Yes, they'll be a playoff team, so they're in the playoffs, but they're only, if we can actually look at it here, they're only a game and a half up of the Rays in the division. So in the wild card, obviously, they'll still be in there, but nonetheless, they have not clinched that division yet. So this team should start winning games. A game and a half up of the Rays, who have like a lot of talent. I would not sit there and be like, oh, we're sitting in a good spot, right? So they got to get their stuff together here. They lost 2 games in a row. I do think that they bounce back today. They have John Means on the mound too. Don't totally trust him, but he is going up against Cal Quantrill, who, the stats actually look good for Cal Quantrill. For whatever reason, I also can't get myself to trust him. His last 3 starts here in which he's pitched well, right? His last 3 ERA is 2.65 with a 1.18 whip. Those teams that he's gone up against, the Angels, the Giants, and then the Royals. Like, I'm looking at and sniffing a little bit of BS here. I think that Baltimore is going to be the best team that he has faced in a while. And in terms of how they bat against righties, kind of middle of the road, batting 276 right now, which is good in their last 5, 250-ish in their last 10 against righties. But you have a Cleveland team here that in their last 5 batting 212 against lefties, John Means being a lefty. So I think Cleveland's offense kind of regresses a little bit today. They scored 5 runs and 9 runs. I'm looking at them to score less runs today, and Baltimore almost won yesterday, I guess you could say. They scored 8 runs, so they kind of did their job offensively, but Cleveland scored more. But yeah, I think it's a big spot for Baltimore. Time to start winning some games late in the year, right? So give me the Baltimore Orioles here on the money line. In terms of the total, I guess I look at the over just because yesterday's game had a lot of runs in there, but I don't really love it. I'm not married to it. I just told you that I don't think the Cleveland Guardians are going to be scoring as many runs as they have been. So if they go out there and give you 4 runs, then yes, obviously I like that over. But I could see I almost did it again, the Guardians having a really a low game. Apologies if the slip of the old team name offends anybody. I will say, now that I'm saying it out loud, Ian's, both of the team names ending in that is really confusing. It hasn't really caught me before, but yeah, tough. But yeah, give me Baltimore here on the money line as well as the over. But I don't love the over as much as Baltimore on the money line because I could see the Guardians, got it that time, scoring just a few runs today. Cincinnati taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Pittsburgh getting the 7-5 win yesterday. We don't know who's pitching for Pittsburgh yet. Connor Phillips on the mound for Cincinnati. 3 starts this year. He's kind of just ramped up into a full start, 7 innings pitched last time out in a win against Minnesota. The team is 3-0 when he pitches, but I don't think it's all that great. Like, his ERA still is a 3.3 on the season. Not that that's bad, but it's not like, oh, he's going out there and dealing, right? He's got a 1.28 whip as well, I think, in his appearances on the season. So those are his starts. In his appearances, I think he has a 5+ ERA. If I'm being honest, I believe I saw that as we were going through this game earlier. But nonetheless, I'll take Cincinnati at home here. I'd love to know who's pitching for Pittsburgh. Jackson ended up pitching for them today. He's just an opener. In terms of who is due, it could really be anybody at this point. Not Oviedo or Mitch Keller. I think they're probably pitched a couple of games ago, but keep an eye on the pin comment. I don't really love this matchup, just like yesterday. I said the same thing. I'll take Cleveland here, or Cincinnati, excuse me, on the money line. In terms of the total, I'd love to know who's pitching. 9.5 does seem a little bit too high. I think these two teams come back down to earth after 7-5 day yesterday. All right, Texas taking on Seattle. We said that this was a game of 2 teams that had their backs against the wall in terms of potential ban spots and everything like that, right? Well, they did not disappoint. Entertaining game yesterday. Texas wins that one 8-5 here. Today on the mound for Texas is going to be Jordan Montgomery, which I don't totally love, but the guy has been pitching fairly well. His last 2 starts, he's looked good. 7 innings pitched in each of them. 0 earned runs against Toronto, 2 starts ago, and then last start against the Red Sox, 1 earned run there. Only 1 walk through those 2 games as well. well, going up against Logan Gilbert, who has struggled mightily as of late. And then in terms of the offensive breakdown, both these offenses, it's kind of crazy here. Seattle in their last 10 against lefties, batting 267. Texas in their last 10 against righties, batting 267. In their last 5, Seattle has seemed a little bit hotter here, 276 against lefties in the last 5, averaging 5.3 runs per 9. But Texas, we know that they can go out there and just score a bunch of runs with some big hits. So I like the over yet again, 8.5 in this spot, but I might flip and look at Seattle even money right now over on FanDuel for the money line play. So keep an eye on the pinned comment. I'm more likely to roll with the over, but if I go with Seattle and they win this game, they're officially off the ban list, right? Like I'm even, middle in the line here being like, are they off the ban list? They contributed to the over yesterday, so you're in my good graces, but yeah. I'm looking at Seattle in this one. Evaldi's pitching tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, which very excited for that as he takes on Brian Wu. So I do think that, we're going to be looking at Texas tomorrow. So, let's see what Seattle can do here. But I like the over more than anything in this spot yet again. All right, I'm going to be the schlep here. Houston taking on Kansas City. I like Houston on the run line. They lost by 2 yesterday. And I just like them to bounce back today. But I feel like they're going to keep making me look like an absolute bonehead. But I'm going to do it right now. You can get minus 128 on FanDuel for minus 1.5. Not good odds, anything like that. But at some point, just like we showed, Tampa Bay and Baltimore, I guess in their playoff situation, right? Like, not that Houston is in the similar or in the same situation. But they're in a situation in which they need to start winning games as well. Look at the wild card race here. They're a half game up on Seattle. Like, Houston, what are you doing? Knock, knock. You're playing the Royals. So I do think that this is a spot in which it's a pretty good, big game and big series for them as well. I'll take them here on the run line. They got to start playing better baseball or peace out, Butterscout. I don't even know what that's saying, but I'll take them. In terms of a total, I have nothing really because I do think that, I think Houston puts up a lot of runs today, but Kansas City has been throwing my mind through a loop. 10, 7, and 7 against the Houston Astros in their last 3 against them. And then just in general, their last 4 games, 6-7, 6-7 runs. So is this Kansas City offense hot? Yes. So I guess I lean towards the over, but couldn't you also see them kind of going out there and being like, oh, well, we just didn't play well today because they are the Royals still at the end of the day. But on the mound for Kansas City, we don't know yet. JP France on the mound for Houston. But like I said, I think it's going to be an offensive swayed game. So that's why I'm slightly leaning towards the over, but I like Houston to win this one. Definitely not paying the juice. I'm going to be looking at that run line. All right, San Diego continues their win streak here. They have now won 9 of their last 10. They've won 8 in a row. Really, really impressive. I did throw in the caveat that they, 6 of those wins were 3 against Oakland, 3 against Colorado. Like, we do have to understand that. But at the beginning part of that 10-game streak, or a 10-game run here where they've won 9 of their last 10, they did take 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. So I do want to give a little bit of credit. On the mound today is Nick Martinez. Is only really pitching, 3 innings or so, but pitching those fairly well. Going up against Jake Woodford, who I don't really love. I'm going to take San Diego yet again, but the odds are minus 190, minus 180 actually on DraftKings. You just can't pay that. Like, this San Diego team, yes, they've been playing well. They're still a below 500 team. The record is 75 and 78. Don't get it twisted. Like, think about that. They've won 9 of the last 10, and they're still 3 games under 500. Like, this isn't the best of teams. Blake Snell, amazing talent on that team. They do have plenty of talent, but they're just not. They're not that guy, okay? So I'm going to lean towards them, but that's a lot of price to be paying. In terms of the total 8.5, I actually think I'm going to slightly lean towards the under in this one, just because we saw San Diego, and they've been playing really good baseball, but not scoring that many runs. Like, their last 3 games here, 2 runs, 3 runs, and 4 runs scored. So I'll take them as well as the under. Keep an eye on the pinned comment if anything becomes final play there. All right, we don't have any odds for this final game here, but Clayton Kershaw's on the mound. We don't know who's pitching for San Francisco. In terms of who's due up, I guess you could say Cobb or Webb is actually due up, whether or not they roll with him, TBD. But I like the Dodgers to win this game. They're clearly, the better team, and they lost last night, so good spot for them to kind of bounce back here. When the Dodgers, almost like a planned, scheduled loss yesterday, if I'm being honest. With Kershaw on the mound today, I do like the spot. In terms of how San Francisco's batting against lefties in their last 10 here, week 28. It looks good, but I think that that's like bodybuilding muscles. Like, I don't really think that they're a strong team and strong caliber team right now. So I'll take the Dodgers, but it'd have to be in some sort of a money line parlay or something like that, because I have a feeling that it's going to be juiced odds because Kershaw's on the mound. And then in terms of the total, if it is at 8.5 or anything like that, I think I lean slightly towards the under yet again, but we'll see where those lines come out at. And that is all we have for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure you are checking out all of the NFL videos. And if you made it to the end of the video here, go ahead and comment 24. If you made it all the way through on this fine Saturday, comment 24 and let me know that you're an absolute real one. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hit that like button. Go pick up some merch. And guys, we are not stopping. We're grinding, putting up so many videos. It's Saturday and we've already recorded. They haven't come out yet, some of the NFL videos, but we're already like up to like 16 videos this week. Absolutely crazy. We're grinding for y'all, and hopefully you guys do appreciate that. But we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.